Have you ever seen cases of men who literally pulled a woman out of the mud, and shortly after, she started acting superior, discarding the guy as if he had never done anything? Stories like that are common. We have well-known examples. I don't need to name names, because you've probably already heard about them. Like that man who paid for her breast implants and iPhone, and was then cheated on with his own best friend. Or that other guy, a tireless worker, who fought to pay for his girlfriend's college, and when she graduated, she simply said she was on another level now, and abandoned him. Situations like these cut deep, because they show how cruel ingratitude can be. You know the person, you welcome them, you help them rebuild their life, often even raising children who aren't yours. But the moment she feels she no longer needs you, she kicks you to the curb without a second thought. And as if that weren't enough, she still takes half of everything you built with a lifetime of sweat, without even having the decency to say thank you. If you've been through something similar, share your experience here in the comments, because your story might open the eyes of many men who haven't yet seen the danger. And in today's video, I'm going to expose, without beating around the bush, what really happens when a man is too kind, pulls a woman out of the mud, and in return, discovers in the most bitter way how ingratitude can manifest.
Before we continue, I need to tell you something. This video only reached you because someone liked it and subscribed to our channel. Now it's your turn to do the same. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell, so this chain of knowledge keeps growing and reaching more people. Also, comment down below which city you're watching from, because I want to know how far this video is traveling. Now, no more delays, let's get to the good stuff.
First, attitude. She forgets where she came from and acts as if she's always been better than you. This is one of the most painful blows a man can feel. You were there when she had nothing. You extended a hand when the world seemed to have turned its back on her. But the moment she gains a little stability, her memory seems to suffer a kind of selective blackout. Suddenly, the difficult days disappear from the narrative she tells herself and others. She starts acting as if she's always been independent, as if she never needed you. And this ingratitude erodes any recognition that should exist. The worst part is that she doesn't just forget what you did, she rewrites the story, placing herself as the great heroine who overcame everything on her own. This type of behavior isn't just a lack of gratitude, it's also an attempt to distance herself from a past that, in some way, still embarrasses her. The problem is that in that past, you are present, the person who fought hardest for her. When she denies her own origins, she is also denying the value of your help. And this manifests in small things, biting comments, disguised ironies, unfair comparisons. It's as if, by trying to distance herself from the pain she lived through, she's also trying to distance herself from the one who was there to carry that weight alongside her. For the man, this generates a feeling of deep betrayal, because it's not just about failing to recognize the effort, but about distorting reality itself. It's as if you were an inconvenient chapter that she prefers to erase to build a narrative of superiority. The emotional impact of this is devastating, because you don't just feel forgotten, but that you're being belittled, put in a position of inferiority within a story that only exists because you helped write it. This attitude is a powerful warning. When someone forgets where they came from, they will hardly be loyal to those who stood by them in the most difficult moments. The man who sees this needs to open his eyes, because there is no true respect when the other person deliberately erases the importance of your role. And without respect, no love can last.
If you're tired of watching her play games, ignore you, and do whatever she wants with your feelings, it's time to show who's in charge of the game. It's time to make her chase you and recognize your true value. In the first pinned comment, I've left a step-by-step guide on how to make her pursue you. Plus, you'll level up and become the best version of yourself. Click now.
Second, attitude. She compares you to men who would never have been by her side on her worst days. This is one of the cruelest stabs, because it puts you in a game that is inherently unfair. After everything you did, all the sleepless nights and sacrifices no one else would have had the courage to take on, she starts putting you side by side with men who never even knew the version of her that was at rock bottom. Men who only show up now, when she's all put together, stable, and with a new image. It's as if she erases the weight you carried and starts measuring you with a ruler meant for those who were never willing to live through the hardest side of her life. This type of comparison is devastating because it's not just about appearance, status, or financial power. It's about invalidating your loyalty. She puts you as less than in relation to guys who never faced the storm with her. This creates a feeling of outrage and helplessness because you know that none of those men would have endured what you endured. But in her mind, that doesn't matter. She gets carried away by the glamour of the moment, by social applause, completely forgetting that when there was no audience, you were the one who held it together. The most perverse part is that this comparison creates a role reversal. From a silent hero, you are now cast as insufficient. It doesn't matter if you were the pillar, the foundation, the firm ground in the midst of chaos. For her, now, it's more convenient to see you as someone below the standard she believes she deserves. And this distorted narrative makes a man feel disposable, as if his dedication had been invisible all along. This behavior reveals a dangerous mentality, that her gratitude has an expiration date, and that recognition only exists as long as she needs you. The moment more attractive options appear in her eyes, you become just a shadow of what you were. And this is the clearest sign that, deep down, she never valued who you were, only what you could provide. Third attitude. She forgets how much you fought to lift her up. This is the silent pain that consumes from within. You know about every effort, every sleepless night, every sacrifice you made so she could have a better life. But when she rises and starts walking on her own, that effort turns to dust in her memory. It's as if all the struggle was just an unimportant detail. What for you was sweat, blood, and tears, for her, becomes something disposable, something that doesn't deserve to be remembered. This forgetfulness isn't innocent, it's convenient. Because remembering would mean recognizing that you were fundamental to her journey, and admitting that would require humility, something she often doesn't want to have. So, she erases the marks of your presence like someone wiping a whiteboard, pretending that everything she achieved was exclusively her own merit. This is one of the greatest injustices a man can live through. The feeling that all the effort he made was not only ignored, but that it never even existed. And the cruelest part is that, while you remember every detail of the struggle, the day there was no money, the time you had to give up a dream to fulfill hers, she goes on with her life as if none of that were real. This isn't just ingratitude, it's a denial of her own history. And when someone denies the past in this way, the message is clear. There is no room for the person who truly built the foundations of the present. This attitude is destroying because it's not just about forgetting facts, but about erasing feelings. And when a man's struggle is erased, along with it goes his confidence, love, and respect. Ultimately, this is the harshest message you can receive, that no matter how much you sacrificed, she never saw it, never recognized it, and never valued it. Fourth attitude. She acts as if she rebuilt herself alone. This behavior is one of the biggest stabs to the soul of a man who gave his all. You were there. You were the foundation. You held things together when the whole world seemed to be crumbling on top of her. But when the dust settles and she finally feels back on her feet, the narrative changes. Suddenly, it's as if the whole process was exclusively her merit. It's as if the role you played was invisible, erased from the story, so she could shine on her own. This type of attitude reveals an arrogance disguised as independence. There's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to rise up, but there's a huge difference between acknowledging the support she received and pretending no one was there. She prefers to sell herself to the world as a lone warrior, ignoring that her strength was often borrowed from your patience, your time, your hard work. This distortion is not just unfair, it's dishonest. And what hurts even more is that her narrative isn't kept silent. She tells friends, posts on social media, shows herself as someone who won alone, while you, who should be a fundamental part of that victory, are hidden in the shadows. The man, at this moment, doesn't just feel ingratitude. He feels like an erased character from a story he helped write. This attitude is a brutal reminder. Some people prefer to erase the person who stood by them to support their own vanity. And when that happens, there's no room left for recognition or reciprocity. The man needs to understand that if she acts as if she rebuilt herself alone, it's because she never wanted to share the credit, only to use the support as a ladder and then leave behind the one who gave her support. Fifth attitude. She looks at you with indifference after having begged for attention. This is one of the cruelest shocks a man can face. You remember when she sought you out with urgency, when she needed your look, your time, your presence to feel alive. In that moment, you were everything. But after she gets what she wanted and feels she no longer depends on you, the look changes. The sparkle that once begged for attention fades, and what's left is the coldness of an indifference that cuts deeper than any words could. This indifferent look isn't just an absence of emotion, it's a clear message: I don't need you anymore. And that phrase, even unspoken, echoes within the man like a silent thunderclap. The worst part is remembering the intensity with which she sought your every gesture, as if you were essential for her survival. Now, seeing that all of that has turned into contempt creates a feeling of emptiness, of having been just a temporary resource. Indifference, in this case, hurts more than anger, because anger at least shows that some kind of connection exists. Contempt, on the other hand, means you are nothing. For the man who gave his all, who dedicated himself, it's devastating to realize that all the attention that was once vital is now treated as an excess, as a nuisance. This undermines self-esteem, creates doubts, and makes you question whether everything you lived was real or just a convenient act. This attitude needs to be understood as a definitive red flag. When a woman goes from extreme need to total indifference, she is showing that there was never balance in the relationship. What existed was dependence, and when that dependence ends, you also lose value in her eyes. And the truth is hard. If she only valued you when she needed you, she never truly valued you. Sixth attitude. She starts treating you as if you're invisible. Few things destroy a man more than realizing that his own presence means nothing to the person he helped lift up. You were once at the center of her life. You were a source of support, comfort, and even refuge. But suddenly, you walk into a room and it's as if you're not there. She doesn't look, doesn't listen, doesn't care. This feeling of invisibility is not just painful, it's dehumanizing. It's as if all your effort has lost its weight, and now you're just a bothersome detail in her life. This type of treatment is cruel because it robs you of your emotional dignity. Her silence speaks louder than 1,000 words, and every gesture of indifference is like a reminder that you are no longer recognized. While you were once sought after, now you are ignored. While you were once valued, now you are forgotten. This contrast creates an abyss within the man, because his mind insists on comparing who she was when she needed him with who she has become since she felt strong enough to walk alone. The worst part is that invisibility is not neutral, it's strategic. By treating you this way, she conveys the idea that you no longer have a place, that you are no longer relevant. It's like a silent message for you to go away on your own. This erodes self-esteem, destroys confidence, and leaves deep marks on the identity of someone who believed they were building something solid. This attitude shows how silent, yet devastating, ingratitude can be. To be invisible to someone you helped is one of the biggest signs that she never saw you as a partner, but only as a stepping stone. And when a man realizes this, he needs to have clarity. If someone can no longer see you, it's because they never truly saw you. Seventh attitude. She excludes you from her plans now that she has options. This is a silent, but cutting blow. You were present when she had nothing. You helped build dreams and open doors that she would never have reached alone. But now that opportunities arise, that life offers more comfortable or attractive paths, she starts leaving you out. The conversations, trips, important decisions, everything happens without you even being remembered. It's as if your existence is irrelevant in the present you helped create. This exclusion hurts because it's not just about being left out. It's a clear message about the value you have to her. Before, you were essential, a key player in every choice, every victory. Today, your presence is no longer needed, and the way she acts makes it clear that your effort and dedication were just utilitarian, temporary tools for her to achieve her goals. This erodes confidence, leaving the man with a feeling of emotional uselessness. What hurts even more is realizing that this exclusion doesn't happen by chance. It's conscious, deliberate. She chooses to distance herself, to make decisions without including you, to show that she now has alternatives that didn't exist before. It's a way to prove, to herself and to the world, that she no longer needs you. And this perception leaves a wound that is difficult to heal, that every sacrifice, every act of care, every emotional investment was used as a ladder and then discarded. This attitude teaches a hard, but necessary, lesson. When someone starts to exclude you from their plans, they are revealing who they truly value. If you were part of her reconstruction and now you don't have a place in the life you helped build, it's time to open your eyes and recognize that the loyalty and respect were never reciprocal. It's time to decide if it's worth continuing to invest who you are in someone who has already decided to move on without you. 8th attitude. She makes fun of the difficulties you faced for her. This is one of the cruelest attitudes, because it turns your struggle and your effort into a reason for laughter. Everything you endured, sleepless nights, extra jobs, personal sacrifices, suddenly becomes a joke, as if none of it had any value. The man who was by her side feels betrayed, not just by losing recognition, but by having his effort disrespected and diminished so openly. The problem is that these jokes almost always come with a disguised smile or a laugh that masks arrogance. It's as if she's trying to prove to herself and others that everything you did was an exaggeration, while she, alone, achieved the success you helped build. Every ironic comment, every joke about your difficulties, erodes self-esteem and transforms gratitude into frustration. This stance demonstrates not only ingratitude, but also an attempt to invert the roles. She wants to appear strong and independent, while you, who provided support, become a source of amusement. It's a subtle way of devaluing your role and reaffirming to the world that she rose up alone, even if the reality is completely different. The man who faces this needs to recognize the truth. Someone who makes fun of your struggles never had real consideration for you. This behavior makes it clear that her gratitude was only conditional. It existed while you were useful, and it disappeared when she achieved what she wanted. It's a cruel, but necessary, warning about who truly deserves your effort and dedication. 9th attitude. She places you in the past while enjoying the present you built. This is one of the most silent and profound wounds a man can feel. Everything you did, every effort, every sacrifice, suddenly seems to no longer matter. She lives in the present, enjoys the fruits you helped plant, but you are no longer part of the story that interests her now. It's as if all the shared past, all the care you gave, was swallowed by time, turning you into someone who belongs only to memory. The emotional impact of this is devastating, because you realize that no matter how much you dedicated yourself, no matter how many times you were by her side in difficult moments, now, you are just a shadow in what she wants to show the world. Every victory she celebrates, every achievement she enjoys, is lived without you, and this hurts more than any open betrayal. The feeling of invisibility within the shared past itself corrodes and makes you rethink the value you truly had in her eyes. This attitude is also a form of emotional manipulation, even if unconscious. By relegating you to the past, she reaffirms her independence and the idea that she no longer needs you, while continuing to reap the benefits of what you built. For the man who gave his all, it's a shock. Years of effort seem unappreciated, and all that's left is the pain of realizing there's no recognition for what was done. The warning is clear. When someone enjoys the present you built while placing you in the past, they are revealing that your importance was functional, not emotional. The man needs to see this with clarity, because continuing to invest in someone who has already emotionally discarded you is repeating a cycle of pain that could have been avoided. 10th attitude. She's ashamed of having been rescued by you. This is one of the cruelest and most humiliating of all. You were by her side in the most difficult moments, when no one else believed she could get back on her feet, and now she seems ashamed of everything she went through, including having needed you. It's as if admitting you were there would be admitting a debt she doesn't want to recognize, and her pride speaks louder than the gratitude that should exist. The effect of this is devastating for the man who sacrificed himself. Every gesture, every help offered, which was once received with need and hope, now becomes a source of embarrassment for her. Instead of seeing the value of what you did, she prefers to hide the truth, erase your role, and even publicly minimize your contribution. It's a feeling of denial that cuts deep, because it makes you question not only her recognition, but the very humanity of the bond that existed. This shame also alters the dynamic of the relationship. She acts as if she rose up on her own, reinforcing to herself and others that she is self-sufficient, while you, who were present and were decisive, are put aside. This creates a cruel emotional imbalance. You, who gave everything, now see that your effort is not only ignored, but has become something she prefers to hide. The message is harsh, but necessary. When someone is ashamed of having been rescued, they are making it clear that they never truly valued the person who was by their side. The man needs to see this attitude as a boundary to be set, because no one deserves to be erased or devalued after so much effort and dedication. 11th attitude. She puts you down to feel superior. This is one of the most painful attitudes because it hurts not only your pride, but the very essence of who you are. After everything you did for her, after being there in the most difficult moments, she turns your effort into a justification to put herself above you. Every word, every subtle gesture, every ironic comment serves to reinforce the idea that she is now better, and you are, in some way, less. The impact of this is profound because it goes beyond a simple lack of respect. It is a conscious attempt to manipulate your sense of self-worth. She wants you to feel small, to question your relevance, and to internalize a feeling of inferiority. All this while she displays a false self-sufficiency, as if nothing you did contributed to her getting to where she is. It is ingratitude disguised as superiority. This stance creates a toxic dynamic, where every interaction becomes an emotional minefield. You start to measure every word and action so as not to be put down again, but the simple fact that you helped her before is used against you. It's cruel, because it turns who should be a partner into a constant target of humiliation. The man who faces this situation needs to understand something essential. Someone who needs to diminish you to feel bigger will never have true respect. This attitude is not just ingratitude. It's a warning that the bond was unbalanced from the beginning. And recognizing this is the first step to not allowing your dedication to be used as a trampoline for her vanity. 12th attitude. She says she doesn't owe you anything. This is the most direct and coldest stab of all. After you've given your time, effort, and even part of your life to help her get back on her feet, she simply drops this phrase, "I don't owe you anything." It's as if everything you did was invisible, irrelevant, and disposable. Every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every gesture of care, for her, it meant absolutely nothing. The effect of this is devastating for the man who believed in reciprocity. The cold declaration leaves no room for dialogue, for recognition, or even for minimal gratitude. She turns the relationship into a unilateral transaction. You invested, you gave, you helped. And, in the end, she positions herself as if she is entitled not to reciprocate. It is a total denial of your importance and the fundamental role you played in her life. Furthermore, this attitude is emotionally corrosive. Upon hearing, "I don't owe you anything," you realize that all the care, all the support, all the investment was just functional, useful only as long as she needed it. There was no real emotional value, no recognition, just an instrumentalization of your dedication to serve her own interests. The warning is clear. When someone says they don't owe you anything after everything you've done, it's a sign that there was never any true consideration. The man needs to see this with clarity and set boundaries, because continuing to invest in someone who never values you is repeating a cycle of pain that could have been avoided. 13th attitude. She ignores all the times you put her needs above your own. This is one of the most silent attitudes, but it leaves deep marks. Every time you gave up your comfort, your wants, or even important opportunities to prioritize her, it seemed natural for you to help. But, for her, these attitudes cease to exist the moment she no longer needs your dedication. It's as if all your effort has been forgotten, ignored, without the slightest consideration. The emotional impact of this is devastating. You remember every gesture, every sacrifice, every choice made to ensure she had what she needed. But she not only doesn't recognize it, she acts as if she never benefited from your dedication. Every act of your care becomes invisible, and this erodes self-esteem, making the man feel used and devalued. This posture reveals a lot about her mentality. While you dedicated yourself with an open heart, she was only storing what was convenient. Everything that no longer serves her is discarded from her memory, and the presence of the man who was by her side in the worst moments is diminished to the point of seeming irrelevant. It's a way of reaffirming that she is now in control, without needing to recognize who supported her journey. The man needs to understand that being ignored like this is not just a lack of gratitude. It's a sign of fundamental disrespect. When someone ignores your continuous effort, they are making it clear that what you offered will never be truly valued. And recognizing this is essential so as not to get lost emotionally, trying to win over someone who never wanted to reciprocate. 14th attitude. She talks about the future without including you. This is one of the most painful ways to realize that you are no longer part of her life. While you were present, you participated, fought, and built together, she now starts planning tomorrow as if you never existed. Conversations about dreams, trips, achievements, or future projects leave you out, and her every word reinforces that your role in what she wants to achieve is over. The effect of this is devastating because it confronts the man with the raw and naked reality. Everything he did to be by her side doesn't guarantee him a place in the future she chooses to live. You feel excluded, diminished, as if all the effort was just a step for her to get to where she wanted, but without you. Every plan she shares without you is a cruel reminder that, for her, your importance was limited to the time you were useful. This attitude demonstrates that the bond between you was never a true partnership, but rather functional. While you were investing, she was learning to walk, to get back on her feet, and to plan without depending on anyone, including you. And now, by charting the future without your presence, she shows that your place was only temporary, a bridge to get to something bigger that she herself thinks she achieved alone. The warning is clear. When someone talks about the future without including you, they are showing that they don't see you as an essential part of their life. The man needs to recognize this and reflect. Continuing to try to fit into a future that never included you is just perpetuating a cycle of pain and devaluation. It's time to decide who really deserves your time and dedication. 15th attitude. She shows that she was only by your side as long as she needed you. This is the cruelest truth a man can face. For months, or even years, you believed in partnership, in complicity, in a relationship that seemed real. But, deep down, she was only with you as long as there was a need to be met: security, stability, emotional or material support. As soon as she achieves what she wanted, the bond loses its meaning, and you realize that all the giving was just functional, a bridge for her own benefit. The emotional impact of this is profound. Every gesture of affection, every sacrifice, every effort of yours is transformed into a bitter memory that you were used. You give and believe you are building something solid, but for her, you were just a temporary resource, a tool to achieve goals. And this realization is devastating because it erodes confidence and makes you question everything you believed about the relationship. In addition to the pain of discovery, there is the feeling of betrayal. You were present at times when no one else wanted or could be, and now you realize that your dedication meant nothing more than momentary utility. It's a shock to realize that the complicity that seemed to exist was never real, and that the love or gratitude you imagined feeling was conditioned on her need. This attitude gives a clear warning. When someone is only by your side as long as they need you, there is no genuine reciprocity. The man needs to recognize this so as not to get trapped in a relationship based on convenience. Understanding this reality is the first step to protecting yourself emotionally and directing your energy to someone who truly values you. If this video made a difference for you, please like and subscribe to the channel. Every video we create here is made with a lot of care, always with the goal of helping you develop and achieve your best version. We want to share practical and direct tips that truly impact your life in a positive way. So, don't waste time and comment below with the word gratitude and the phrase, "in search of my best version." By doing this, the algorithm will take this video to even more men who are looking for growth. Your engagement in the comments is essential for our content to reach those who need these tips the most. Additionally, your support with a like and a subscription to the channel strengthens our work and gives us the motivation to continue creating valuable content for your journey. The more you interact, the more men will also have access to this type of information, which only helps our mission of transforming lives. So, thank you for being with us on this journey. Stay tuned for the next videos, because we are always bringing new things to help you evolve. A big hug, and see you in the next video.